Yay! And you're here with Marina Franklin, and this is
Evelyn Frick.
Yay!
That's good.
Thanks, Evelyn. Thank
Yeah.
you. So, just got off the road. Oh wait, no, we won't start with there. We'll start with this weird weather switch up. It's beautiful outside.
It's gorgeous.
What did you do? It was supposed to be like awful weather, and now it's like confusing.
I know. Yeah, so I made all my plans to just kind of stay in today. My girlfriend's older brother, is visiting this
Ooh.
weekend and staying with us. So they were like, "Oh, we'll just kind of like trek through the rain." Their plans were to go to like MoMA and do all these things in Manhattan. So I'm sure they're
Inside,
out
huh?
enjoying. Yeah, I'm sure they must have like decided to go to the park or something. This is so nice. But yeah, I just made plans to stay in. I slept in, and then I have an exercise bike. So I rode 15 miles this
On the
morning.
bike?
Mhm.
Good
Yeah,
for you.
thank you. Yeah, I have to
Where
take
can you get that?
it's oh my I'm sure I just got it off our bike is not like that fancy. I just got off Amazon.
But where do you put it?
Oh, we have like so we have it in our living room currently, and it's kind of just like smushed against the wall with like barely enough room behind kind of like a love seat that we have. So yeah, it did take some positioning to make it work in the space, but I'm so glad we have it, because it's just like it I don't when I would go to the gym, like, it would take such, like, effort to, like, actually get myself to go, and now it's like, "Oh, I have a bike in my living room. I can just do that for, like, 20 minutes."
No.
So
Going
it's
to
good.
the gym is so hard. Like, I joined a gym, and I
Mhm.
also box with trainers.
Yeah.
I say trainers because I have, like, so many trainers. But it's hard. Like, I'm supposed to get into the zone. Have you heard of
Mm.
that?
Yeah, yeah.
Where you get in there and you're supposed to keep a certain heart rate. I've never done it. Like, I think I have the thing back here. I'm always afraid you'll see my hair loss when I turn.
No, it's good.
I do have hair loss though. It's from
Like, I'm
menopause.
sure I'm sure that's true, but I haven't noticed it at all.
Right there. So, ugh. No, but yeah, no, getting to the gym is the hardest thing. So like having a trainer helps because then because then they're like expecting you and you got to pay them, and if you don't
Yeah,
go, you still got to pay them. So it forces me to go, but to go there on my own,
yeah.
so hard.
It's so hard. Yeah, it is really the money angle that, like, when I went to the gym, it was like, "Okay, I'm paying for this. I have to use it or else I'm just wasting this money."
I love it. Yeah, because I used to when I could run, I can't run anymore because I have really bad knees. So I
Yeah.
used to go to Central Park and I used to just run. That was my exercise. I paid for no
Mhm.
gym. I saved a lot of money, and then my knee gave out, and my knee was like, "Bitch, you need to pay. You need to go into the gym and do safe workout."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I hear you. It's so beautiful out.
It's
It's
gorgeous.
confusing this weather. It's like
I know. Because yesterday was so gray all
it
day
was.
long,
It was
and
very good.
now it's I mean, like, I'm not mad that it's so bright, but I know it's not gonna be like this tomorrow or like,
Is
this
that
week.
tom oh, it's gonna be oh, it's not gonna be like this tomorrow?
I don't well, let me check now that I've said that. I didn't think so, but let's see.
We were just
Actually, well,
talking
okay,
about
so
what
tomorrow's
weather
supposed to
app are
be
you
sunny.
using?
I just use the, like, Apple,
Oh, so
um
you use the Apple one too.
yeah, it's supposed to be sunny, but high of 51, so a little bit colder. Yeah, but it's supposed to get warmer later in the week, so that's nice.
TB, hello, where have you been? I thought you were mad at me. You've hit TB, I haven't seen TB in 3 weeks. It feels like
Oh
forever.
my gosh.
I was like,
Listen.
"TB, where you at? Where you
Yeah.
at, son?" Because he's TB always goes backstage when we record the podcast live
That's so nice.
on, I mean, not live, but access only to our Patreon members.
Sick.
it's a good place to say, if you are new to this live that we're doing right here, the reason I do this is to promote the podcast, Friends Like Us, which is actually different from what we're doing right now. This is just promoting the podcast. The actual podcast features actresses, comedians. We talk about hot topics. This is a promotion of that, and I do that with my white friends.
Yeah.
And TB is on Patreon. He's a subscriber, so he goes backstage and he's able to watch the recording live with it's not filtered. So anyway,
That's exciting.
bring on. So your girlfriend's brother's in town. Is he
Mhm.
have a girlfriend? How old is he? And what does he look like?
He is 28, I
Oh,
want to say.
too young.
He does not have a girlfriend, to my knowledge. And it's actually like fun. Like he kind of just looks like the male version of my girlfriend. So like, except slightly taller. He's like, I'd say he's maybe like 6 foot. Very like dark curly hair. Um,
Mm.
yeah. So ladies, if you're interested.
I do remember your girlfriend's gorgeous, so I can only imagine.
Yeah, the genes run strong. Very, I mean, like I hate to uh, talk about, stereotypically like Jewish looking people, but
Right.
they kind of are a little bit. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a very lovely
No,
thing.
not at all. It's funny. I never knew what that looked like until I moved to New York and people would tell me who were Jewish and they would say, "You don't know." And I honestly didn't know. I had no
Yeah,
understanding of that.
it's just a cultural thing. Yeah, that like growing up, like my mom just kind of like taught me like, oh, like this person like has like this curly hair or like their last name is this, and that means
I love
they're.
the curly hair.
I know
I
it's
love the
so
Jewish
good.
fro. The Jewish fro is my favorite fro.
It's the curly hair is good, but the maintenance of it is
Yeah.
so crazy. Like my
Is it?
girlfriend has, yeah, like she has just to like, I don't know, keep it healthy and like, I don't know, she has like a whole like routine that she does and all different kinds of products that she
She probably
uses.
uses some black products because I know my friend Rachel Feinstein, we used to use the same hair products. I was like, "What are you doing? What? Why are you have my products?"
I know. Well, my girlfriend, she sometimes will sleep in a bonnet. And I'm like, Sophie.
I love that.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, her hair looks great, so it's working.
That's what we have in common. I always say, like, when I started the podcast, I was like, Jewish women and black, we have a lot in common when it comes to hair
Oh,
and
for
stuff
sure.
that we have to go through. So I
Totally.
used to always yell at Rachel because she would straighten her hair. And
Right.
everyone would tell her to straighten her hair. And she does look good with her hair straightened, but her hair curly, I used to love it, you know.
Yeah,
And Michelle Wolf, same thing. But
yeah,
Michelle's not Jewish. She just had
no,
curly hair. I don't think Michelle is Jewish,
I
but
don't
she had
she has bright hair.
curly hair. It's
Mhm.
like that, and then she would straighten it, and she was always afraid to see me when it's straightened. She's like, I just don't know if Marina's here because Marina gets upset.
That's a good impression.
It's a combination of like me doing like my sister, I think, and then I just drop it in a little bit.
That's
Oh
good.
my goodness, we have look at this. Marcus Fuller, what up? TV, good morning. Like you said, it's been a while. Daniel Hill, be strong tomorrow for the weather. And Raphael Santor, I don't think I've ever seen you here on the YouTube, but welcome. I so much enjoy your comedy that I tune into these discussions with nothing to add but a smile. Thank you. Love your creativity, delivery, and content. Love your honesty. I am so too honest. Thank you. Thank you, Raphael. New York City.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, TV's been on spring break. Okay. Stace is here. What up, Stace? I love our
Mhm.
regulars. TV.
Mhm.
Oh, they're having a conversation. Okay. So, yeah, we were talking about the weather and you were saying you use the Apple weather app. It's one of those things where it's like I have this perfect weather app where all I have to do is look at it and I know exactly when it's going to rain and it's quick and I'm out.
Yeah.
And then Apple bought it and
Ugh.
it no longer is available. I was so angry.
It's yeah, no, it's really frustrating when well, I mean, it's kind of like what happened to Twitter. It got bought by Elon and now it's so much worse. Apparently the blue check is supposed to be like for like actually like verified people is supposed to go away today, but as of yet,
Really?
mine has not left. Yeah, because he's making it so you have to pay.
And
Uh,
now on Meta, they're doing this as well.
I know. It's like it's so frustrating because it's going to lead to a lot of misinformation because people just are trained to think that if you have a blue check, that means they're like a verified source. And now that's just not the case.
Now on Meta, cuz I tried to get a blue check on Meta,
Yeah.
um because this is one of those things that I usually don't do until the last minute. Like I'm always like, okay, do I need a check? Do I really like I got to check on Instagram without even trying. They did it. I don't know who
Oh,
did it.
that's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. And I remember my sister Leah, if you're listening, yeah, I'm about to go in on you. My sister Leah was like, not to be like, rude or anything, which is always like a preface to, oh, you're about to land with some serious awful.
Yeah.
But this was years ago and I didn't have as many numbers, I guess. I had like, I don't know. And it wasn't bad, but she was like,
Yeah.
you don't have enough followers. So like, how did you get a check? And I was like, what?
That's so funny.
But I really didn't know. I have still to this day, I have no idea who or how I got verified on Instagram. And then with Meta, I tried to do that with friends like us, but it asks for your driver's license. It asks for you to identify that it's you.
Yeah.
So it'll take it away if you can't identify. That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and it has to be, like, a perfect picture of, like, your driver's yeah, it's a lot. It's also a lot to I've considered because I really like ideally, I would love to get off Twitter because Elon's making it worse, but, it's a little bit easier as a news gathering source, but so I thought about applying for verification on Instagram, and that's also a lot of work.
Yeah. And here's the thing, that's a lot of money that they're collecting. This is like
Mhm.
$14
Yeah, I
a
think so.
month
For wait, for which one? For Twitter or
for
Meta?
Meta.
Oh, yeah, Meta's $14 a month, that's a lot.
That's a lot. $14 a month? That's like a subscription to a streaming platform.
Right, and you're really not, like, getting anything besides clout for it, which even no like, now, though, it's, like, almost kind of become, like, an embarrassing, kind of cringy thing that if, like, you I guess on Meta, like, you can't tell if it's, like, because you're subscribed, but on Twitter, like, you can click on someone's blue check and it'll tell you if they're what Elon calls, like, a legacy verified or if it's because they're subscribed to Twitter Blue. And if it's you have one because it's Twitter, like, through Twitter Blue, it's, like, embarrassing.
Oh. So wait. Oh, so legacy means you had it before?
Yeah, like, I don't know why they call it that, but yeah, so a legacy verified means that, like, you were verified before Elon Musk, bought Twitter, which typically means they're, like, a news source or, like, a celebrity or a journalist or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I don't know why they call it that, but yeah,
Wild.
it is a lot of
I so
information.
much. It's like, and it is kind of funny because when you go on Instagram, right? Or
Yeah,
on Twitter and someone likes what you said or someone follows you and you see the check, you
yeah,
actually feel like, "Oh, this is a legitimate person. Let me go
right.
to their page and see why they decided to follow me."
Yeah.
And now no.
Yeah, not at all.
It's like
It's
this is a
yeah, it's
person who
wild.
pays $14 a month.
I yeah, that's so crazy to me. I saw, Dionne Warwick tweeted earlier today that she was not gonna be, paying for a verification because she wants that money to go to her lattes, and I fully agree with her.
She does post lately, right?
She does, like, post really funny content on
It
Twitter,
is
actually.
funny.
It's so nice, to see, and I think it's also, like, introduced her to, like, a younger audience, which, like, good for her, she
Good
deserves
for
it.
her. Yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, yeah, I love when older people find like how to what is the word? Like refresh themselves, or I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm
yeah.
I'm losing on the word here. Uh but yeah, it's great. It's like she should be doing that.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
Oh, watching from Cape Town, South Africa. Thank
Mhm.
you so much, Freddie. Thank you. And I'm so glad. Just so you know, we'll be adding a guy. His name is David Juskow in about a second. He's inappropriate at times, so I just want to warn you, South Africa. We love him, but he always says the wrong shit.
It is indeed.
Mr. Noise. What up, Mr.
Mm,
Noise? All right, let's bring him on. The man.
yeah.
Oh, he looks like he's frozen. His Wi-Fi looks. I'm looking at you in the green room, Juskow, and you look spotty. Here we go. Yay!
Hi,
What
everybody.
up? Oh my god, you using a beach ball?
Yeah, I'm using a bad computer.
You know that you would kill me if I did this to you.
Well, it's not, I'm at my sister's house, so I this is the laptop I. It's a crappy laptop, but this is the one I used for Paul Rudd when the kids came. When I talk to the kids and everything. There's not. It's a. I need a brand new computer, but it's been holding out for a while. It's expensive to get a new computer. I got this like 8 years ago, and it's not very good, but it's been, it's good enough, I guess. But I'm sorry if it's not working well.
Do you see the way he looks, Evelyn? Or does
I
he look
do. Yeah, it's like this. The audio is fine, but it's like kind of I don't like yeah, it's clear, but you're whenever you move, it's like broken up.
All right, I'll try
I
not to
mean, you
move.
look like a robot, which
You
is
do.
fine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Again, I don't know what the Wi-Fi services here is like, and I'm kind of out in this outdoor space. It's not indoors. They make me sit outside. They won't let me work in the house. So
Wait.
You're outside.
yeah,
It looks
I'm in
like a
this little.
chicken coop a little bit. Like
Yeah,
there's
it's like that. It's a chicken coop in the yard. My sister doesn't like me working in the house when everybody's around.
oh, I could
What
see
can I
her
do?
telling you to get out. I could see that.
Yeah,
I want you out.
exactly.
I say that to my sister when she comes to visit me. 5 minutes in to her visit,
Yeah, I know you do. We
I just
watched
look
it
at her.
last week.
Yeah, I looked at her while she was being comfortable, and I just said, "I want you out." I
Yeah,
love
I'm
her, but
sorry. I
ooh,
better.
look,
I guess it's still. I mean, I guess there's nothing I can do if the Wi-Fi is bad, right?
yeah, choppy
I mean,
video for you, Juskow. But this is good because you won't say a lot.
That's true.
I
yeah.
mean, you
I
still
guess I
coming
won't.
through. The audio sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's something. I could turn off my video if you'd like.
No, I mean that doesn't
Now I got
work.
cat
Disembodied
hair all over
Juskow
my.
voice.
I have cat hair all over my shirt because my sister gave me this blanket and it is all full of cat hair. And I was planning on wearing this tomorrow too.
Speaking
Now
of
it's.
animals, has anyone seen Cocaine Bear?
I
Is it
No, is it
called?
good?
haven't.
I was thinking about it.
I haven't seen it yet.
I want to just because like the cast actually looks pretty good. I've heard like mixed reviews about it though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, like I haven't like I read them a few weeks ago, so I can't really remember what they said, but like I don't know exactly what their viewer is expecting.
Thank you, Debbie.
It's just supposed to be ridiculous. So yeah.
First, obviously it's a female director, so that's a problem. And then, of course, you
How
add
did he
in
manage to still
that
be insulting and he's
because this
like
is what I do.
choppy?
It's you premised it at the beginning of the
I
show,
did.
so I
Choppy
assumed you
Dave.
wanted me to do that.
Hey, Choppy Dave.
Oh,
Uh,
damn it! I'm sorry. I don't know how to make it better.
well, TB says the lag isn't that bad.
Well, I practiced on Zoom too to make sure it wasn't too choppy. In fact, I moved. I was sitting in a different way and it was too bright coming in, so I moved. So I thought it would be better. I apologize.
Um,
I guess I could use my work computer to do it, but it would be too risky. I'm the only one working today.
Mr. Noise wants to see the movie. Now I hear it's an actual true story.
I heard that too.
I looked it up. It like apparently like the true story part of it is that a bear, like people were trying to smuggle cocaine and then they like dropped some in the forest and a bear ate it and then it immediately died basically. But in the movie it like eats it and then goes on like a rampage.
Become
So we
superhuman
had
or whatever.
a young lady on. I'm going to try to find her Instagram in a second. The one of the few National Geographic reporters. She studies big bears, big
Oh, I
cats,
remember.
and she's been talking about this. I believe she says it wasn't actually cocaine.
Oh, that's
It was
interesting.
actually something that makes bears high.
Oh, that's interesting.
Somebody
Like some.
bought that into the woods.
No, it's in the wood. It's like it had too much of whatever it was. I'll find the video. You guys, Evelyn, talk to Choppy Dave for a sec.
Yeah, I mean, so that's interesting. I'll have to. What was that?
Let me find her.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
take me
I had
too.
wolf for a second.
You're choppy and you're
Yep.
loud. So rude.
I'm loud.
Wasn't that like extra noise coming from you?
Yeah, his computer. He has
Oh,
his
it's just a
alerts on.
ding when there's work. Evelyn, what are you doing for Passover?
I am visiting my parents. Yeah, so I'm leaving Wednesday afternoon and then be doing Passover with them. And then my dad is actually not Jewish, so I'll be celebrating Easter with him on Sunday. So it'll be really nice. I'm excited.
I should
Actually,
celebrate
Marina,
Passover
first of
this
all,
year. Should I
you
celebrate it
are
this year?
celebrating. Wait, should you? Is
Should
that what
I?
you're asking?
Should I go into my history? I should really
You
really
could.
go in.
I think, yeah, I
Do
mean,
you
like,
even know how to celebrate Passover?
No, what do I do?
so the big thing is a Seder, which is essentially just like a dinner. So it kind of requires like a few other people. So you should definitely see if there's like someone who's hosting a Seder that you could like join. But
Well, I
it's
can ask my sister if you want to come to ours.
When is it?
We have like 12 people. It's Wednesday.
Wednesday evening.
Wednesday at
Oh, I'm
5.
busy. Can I be busy? Is that like,
Yeah, you can work on
does that
Passover, I
make
think.
me a bad?
Jew?
I didn't say it.
I don't think anybody will think you're a bad Jew. Yes, it does. Jews
No, I mean, not everyone.
always judge other Jews on how Jewish they are. So if you are a true Jew, then you would say to like Evelyn, what do you mean you're leaving on Wednesday night? Shouldn't your Seder start exactly at sundown? You're not going to make it in time. To make the other Jew feel guiltier about being not as a Jewy is being a real Jew, Marina.
Oh, I like
Am I wrong,
that.
Evelyn?
You're not wrong. It's like kind of a similar thing to Catholics also do it. That's also big in Catholicism. That's like one thing that we share. But yeah, no, making other Jews feel guilty is definitely a big part
You're
of it.
like,
But
oh, you don't
Passover is pretty
fast during
popular.
Yom Kippur?
Oh, Judy, go.
What?
You should. Yeah. I'm sure Judy does a lovely Seder.
By the way, on
Yeah.
Sunday, the Sunday show with Sarah Silverman, there was Cory Booker came to the show, and there was a
Oh, wow.
young lady there. She was black like me, and she was 25% Ashkenazi, and I got really upset. And I've just decided I'm not saying anything anymore because when someone says they're 25, I'm going up a number.
You should.
Because she
Kind
was
of.
just trying. She looked at me and she goes, "I have more," and I was like,
That was my next question, Marina. How did Boston gigs go?
the Boston show with Sarah was the best of all the. I mean, they all were killer shows. All of them. I mean, it was really difficult to kind of go back to like, just comedy clubs. My little life.
I bet.
But it
I'm
was
going on Saturday.
You going Saturday?
Yeah, a week from today in New Jersey here to see her.
Oh, she's performing again?
Yeah.
Where?
She told me not to tell you.
Shut up.
She's performing in Red Bank, New Jersey at the Count Basie Theater.
Oh yeah, no, she told me
Todd
she's
is
gonna
opening
keep
for her
going.
this time.
No, she told me.
I know,
She told
but
me
she's throwing Todd a bone this time, but I think she would have rather used you.
No, I had Sarah and I, like, honestly, it was just the right chemistry. We both worked. It was just fun, and
Yeah.
it just works. There's some combinations of people that just work for shows and makes it a good show. And she's got a lot of friends, so I know I'm like there, but I'm never upset when she uses anyone else. It's like, it's just an honor to do it when I do it. And let me tell you, the audiences in Boston, it's like, I said this
What-
as I closed. I said they are the smartest audiences in a sense that you don't feel like you have to over explain any part of your material. It's just and I said it to them. I said, I see why everyone tapes here for their specials. Like Chris Rock tapes at the Wilbur. I forget who else. Lewis Black, I think, recently taped there. It's just the audiences just get it.
That's so cool.
So
Well,
amazing.
that's where she taped her special on Thursday and Friday, right? So
Yeah.
it's her hometown, so it makes a lot of sense.
I didn't know she was from Boston.
She's a New Englander, and I think they
Wow.
consider, you're not going to tape a special in New Hampshire, so
Right.
it's like where I grew up in Jersey. I would consider New York my hometown. I mean, I know I've lived here a long time, but I grew up 30 miles away, just like she did.
Wow.
Well, you got cut off.
I mean, I've
which
been to
is
her.
a beautiful thing.
Something there.
You're kind of
Yeah.
Oh, I
choppy
did?
in audio.
Well,
Yeah.
I've been to her hometown. I've been there to her
No,
hometown, and
Mr.
there's nothing
Joyce.
there. So,
Oh. Yeah, no, I'm not on all Sarah's shows, so I'm done. My tenure is up. I think that's the right way to say it. Now I want to show you this. The bears. How cute is that?
Oh, they're
So
so
Ray
cute.
Wynn Grant. Now her video was in her story. I had put it in my story where she talks about the true story. She's gonna come out. So
Oh, okay.
this is who she
as
is.
gay,
Follow her. What?
I just heard gay.
Yeah, you're so choppy that only the insulting things are coming out now.
all right.
You said this is gay?
No, you said she's coming out, and I said as gay.
Oh, yeah, no, your timing's off.
Yep.
So this is her. This is Ray Wynn Grant, who was also on the podcast Friends Like Us, and she's one of the few Black women that does this, that studies like black, brown, like animals, big cats, all types of animals, but specifically bears. And she talks on the podcast about how to survive like an attack. Like if a bear
wow.
sees you, you're supposed to make yourself like really big.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be like, "Rawr!"
That's good
But
to know. I love going to Vermont. My family goes every summer, but that is like my one concern when I'm out in Vermont. I'm like, what do I do if I see a bear?
well, you're not supposed to like I think they say poop yourself.
Okay, that makes sense.
and look a little like something's like you wouldn't be good to eat.
Okay.
So like like Juskow. Juskow doesn't have to do much.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
The bear would probably be like, no,
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm getting from that one. Now Hectech asked, Marina, will you or are you working on anything based on Will Smith versus Chris Rock or Juskow? Are you working on that? Do you do material like that, Juskow?
Will Smith, that kind of stuff, like current event stuff.
Yeah.
Nah, not really. Just on the podcast, but not in stand up.
Yeah, I don't touch on it because it feels, for me personally, it just feels like it's not my story to tell. There's nothing I mean, I did honestly, at the Fat Black at the Comedy Cellar, I did have a point of view immediately after that I won't share here. But it was enjoyed by the women in the audience, so that may actually help you to understand which point of view I had. But that was only one time, and that's it. But
Wait,
outside of that, it just doesn't serve me. I don't have any interest in it. Culture, like I like the way Marlon Wayans dealt with it. Wow, like I always talk about that because I thought, like I said last week, or what the
Yeah.
lens, the way he talked about it was very good for him. So there you go. Um, yeah, but
I
I
also
am
think,
in.
like, now that the Chris Rock special has happened, like, it would, like, now that he's talked about it, I think it would just even more feel, like, weird for any comic to be doing new material on it.
Yeah, I mean, he put the cherry on it. He finished it,
Mhm.
button it. Let's move on.
Yep.
It's kind of, it would feel dated because then, oh, here's something for you out there. Like topical material is difficult to do because it becomes dated over time. So let's say you tape a special and you talk about like some headliney thing. A year or two later, no one's really good. People are going to be like, you sound like you're talking about. So sometimes I try to make my material very personal, something that can be relatable and stand the test of time.
Right.
Like I'm not going to be talking about Nixon, but
Right.
that's hilarious. Like if you watch an old video of someone talking about Nixon, you probably be like, whoa, that's weird. Like Juskow
Right.
talks about Nixon.
Oh, absolutely. My fellow Americans. Oh.
It's even scarier when it's
It is
like
scarier.
choppy like this.
It is. It is.
Well, you know how I love Nixon.
Yeah, yes.
That's why from Family Ties.
Oh my
Which
gosh.
leads us
Based my whole life on
into a really good conversation about the indictment. Like no
Yeah.
one thought it was ever going to happen apparently. Trump was surprised. Evelyn, what were you thinking when it happened?
Well, I mean, I was surprised. I wasn't expecting it at that
exchange.
moment. Because like I think last week was when like the whole buzz around it where like Trump said that he was going to get indicted, and a lot of people, like journalists, were like expecting that he'd be indicted on like Tuesday or Wednesday. So when that passed, I was like, oh, like maybe like this won't happen. But yeah, no, I'm glad it did. I think like he, even though it's obviously not in relation to like anything he did while he was like president. I think it's, he still needs to be held accountable. So that's good. And I'm definitely interested to see how this whole trial, or, if it doesn't go to trial, like what will happen with it.
Do you think it sets a bad precedent?
Is it? No, I think it sets a good precedent. I mean, so if we're talking about Nixon, like he famously said that like if a president does something, it's not illegal. And I think that's a not good point of view to have. I think our leaders need to be held accountable for the things they do. So, um, but yeah, so I think it sets a very good precedent. And for comedy purposes, I am like happy that it was because of like hush money that he paid Stormy Daniels.
It's always interesting how it's not the actual thing that they get you for. It's like when
Yeah.
they pull over a serial killer, it's usually because of a headlight or something is
Yeah.
busted, or you forgot to
Right.
pay a bill, but not for the actual crime.
Yeah, exactly. Like Trump will probably never be indicted for
The voting suppression and
yeah,
the
for
January 6th
right.
insurrection.
Like he's not going to get charged on that. Like if he does go to jail, which would be wild, it will be because of like paying hush money. So yeah, I'm just really interested to see how it plays out. I think things with like criminal justice move so slowly. So like I don't think that we're really going to be getting more updates on this anytime soon. I think like if it does go to trial, it'll probably be like in a year or two. Um, but yeah, we'll just see. In the meantime, like I hope I don't like it doesn't seem to me to have like garnered any more support for Trump than he already has, or like, you know, there weren't like huge protests or anything like conservatives said there would be. Um, so yeah, it's I'm interested just to see how it plays out.
Yeah, and Juskow, you sound sad that your hero's going to jail.
I'm a little upset about it. I just don't. I think it's a mistake to do this. I
Why?
just feel like it's. I don't know. It makes me nervous. I just, I'd rather just leave it alone and hope that he doesn't win, and so he'll go away. There's so many people that are just gonna look at this the wrong way. It's
Oh, you're nervous
I don't
about the
know. Like
people?
I'd like, what I would like if he got indicted for January 6th. I would like that more. I don't like this. It's not enough, and it seems like it's keeping its straw in a way, even though I get it, but it makes me nervous about the repercussions and the future.
See you, Hack. Yeah, well, I think we're already in it though. That's the only thing. I think it was funny. I put this in my story. Here, I'll show it. Um, let me see if it's still there, about how many people were protesting.
Yeah.
And it was pretty funny that it was really like, I don't know if it's still there. No, it's not. But it's a reporter saying that there were like nobody, like people were just going to work. And then she says, and maybe a few people just stopping to dance for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, to dance?
Yeah, do they have
Well,
music?
I was down there. I was down there. I have pictures, and there was no protest. It was only reporters and a swarm of them, and it was blocking my way home, and that's what was bothering me.
Oh,
But
that a reporter was
yeah, just
blocking your
reporters.
way?
No, there were like, that's the weird part. It was only reporters. There was no regular people there.
Yeah, I think people are now more like, I think we said this last week. Like, I think people are now who are conservative and Republican are throwing their support more so towards Ron DeSantis. I think people are just kind of tired of Trump
I hope so.
and hearing about him.
I hope so. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, no, I hope so
Yeah.
too. So I was initially a little bit nervous too about any sort of backlash, but I really don't think like at this point, maybe there'll be more protests if like there actually is a trial, but like, I mean, it's in New York City, so like the base of people, like it's not going to be it would be people coming from outside of New York City to protest. There wouldn't be a huge base here, I would assume.
Yes, and it always affects me and wherever I'm driving to, and it's really annoying.
Mhm.
I was driving home the other day, and there were protests like on the bridge and stuff, and
Oh.
it just always affects my driving.
All the protests.
Oh, look how pretty I look there.
Yeah.
You look good.
Yeah. I've seen better heads on a mug of beer.
Shut up. All right, here we go. Oh, sorry. Let's see. I think I have it. I love this guy. It's not up yet. Sorry. Anyway,
I like
at
that
least
song. What are we looking for?
I was putting up the video of the reporter talking about her.
I like that song. Can you put
Oh,
that
it's
back
so
on?
funny. It's just that guy. I like this morning. I don't know if you guys do this, but I wake up in the morning sometimes and I just stream. I just go on Instagram and just watch people's like little clips and videos.
Oh, stories. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I. It's so they're saying that it's unhealthy for you to do that. By the way, now.
I
It's
know.
very unhealthy. It's unhealthy to
Why?
do before bed and waking up.
It's something to do with the
I don't
light.
know.
Oh, at least okay. So I know that like it's bad when you go to bed because the blue light is like it can
Right.
disrupt your
But
sleep.
it's also bad when you wake up in the morning and just concentrate on that. It's like, I don't know, there's something mental about it. And it's not just the light, it's I don't know, it's the information you're receiving as you get up is just apparently messing up people's heads. My nephew even told me, and he's the proper age for TikTok and Instagram. And he's like, I told myself not to look at it when I wake up.
Yeah,
Wait an
that's the
hour.
thing. Well, I saw something this morning where someone on TikTok was saying that they're trying this thing where they like don't use their phone for like the first 2 hours that they're awake.
So hard.
I know it's so hard, and also like for me, like working in well, even I guess could be this could be true for like people who do full like who are comedians full time. Like I need my phone for like my job, so like I can't just like turn it off for the first 2 hours of the workday.
I mean,
I
it's
actually,
the
I
most.
guess just when I wake up, I look to see if anybody called or texted. About it. Can you hear me?
I know I'm using that face so that you can tell that it sounded like you kind of broke up. Sorry.
Oh, I'm
Here it
sorry.
is.
I realize I think it is my computer because, again, the only time I used this for this kind of thing was with Paul, and he kept breaking up, and I blamed the school's Wi-Fi, but I think it's my computer.
Yeah, you have an old computer. You have to update your
It's
computer.
like 8 or 9 years old, which is way old for a computer. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a new laptop for the fall semester.
Mr. Noise, who you calling pretty? That sounds so weird. It's like I
Me.
got angry. Who
Look,
you
he's talking to
calling
me.
pretty? You know what's funny? I saw this today. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I saw a guy catcall this woman. Okay. I went to the bank. I actually went to the farmer's market while it was still dreary out and everything. I did that whole thing, because I was
Yeah.
like, it's actually good exercise to walk because there's a
Oh yeah.
hill and it gets me going. Speaking of getting up and going in the morning, because when you get old, you got to keep moving, you
Yeah.
know. But so I'm going to the bank, and I swear to God, like this beautiful woman, she's like, walking, and she's going the opposite direction. And then this brother, he's like, hey, baby, baby. And, cat calls her, and it's really disgusting. And she just keeps going. And I looked at him, and then I realized he's going in the same direction I'm going in. So now I get to follow the cat caller after he's done the cat call. That I've never experienced before. I get to actually see how the cat caller comes back to ground zero, back to like
Yeah,
normal.
yeah.
He's going into the bank, he's depositing money.
That's such an interesting character study.
Yeah, and I watched him, and I was like, and I watched him closely, and I said, this dude, he don't look great, right?
Mhm.
He looks like he ain't got a lot of confidence in his life. This is the one place where he has power,
Mhm.
where with women,
Yeah.
right? So like usually, like I would say, catcalls never really bothered me, but then I see that catcalls for certain men is almost is a strong word I'm gonna use right here. It's kind of like it's like assault. It's like a rape
Yeah.
in a sense, because this man looks like he couldn't do this in his he can't do this in his regular life. He can't get a woman.
Right.
He can't have a relationship. He barely had money to deposit into his checking account. He had a issue when he was trying to deposit his money. And I was just like, and it was funny because my eye doctor was standing behind me. It was just happened to be. And I told her the whole story, and I said, look at this trifling ass Negro here. Look at him. I was like, I should kick him in his ass right now. But, it was just so interesting to see the dissolve from that
Yeah.
aggressive, like, approach to women. And then he's just this small. He's a little guy.
Yeah. That sounds like a good premise for, something to happen in your show, maybe.
I know. You're right, Evelyn. Of course, now that I've said it here, someone's going to write it down and put it in their show. So, look, I love that Juskow has to be quiet because he respects the fact that he's choppy.
Yeah.
Hey, choppy Dave. Hey. Even your eyebrows are choppy.
I do. Oh.
Now, I think with the Trump thing, I personally say lock his ass up. It's so ironic that he was telling people lock her up, and here he is the main criminal.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
It's extremely ironic.
It's always projection.
Yeah, totally. And very like so predictable. Like at that point, like when he was saying that, we knew he had already surely he had already committed crimes like, tax fraud or tax evasion or things like that. So it does feel it feels like karma. But it also it's been so funny to have that juxtaposed with the Gwyneth Paltrow trial that just ended. That just felt so ridiculous and so stupid. To then have this actually very important thing happen.
It's become press for them. PR stunts.
Oh, totally. Well, I don't think Gwyneth wanted people to pay attention to her trial. And then it I think for the most part, the trial actually was good PR for her, but I don't think she initially wanted people to pay attention to it.
It became such a thing because the one woman the lawyer kept giving her compliments about her height.
So yeah. Or she was
starstruck. She was starstruck.
Yeah, she was. And then
she's like, I wish I was that tall. It must be nice to be that tall. And
yeah.
You're so pretty. Look at your face. How do you do your hair?
Well, she certainly did look good. She does have flawless skin.
No, she looks so terrible. Right before Gwyneth Paltrow, she right before the whole trial thing, Gwyneth also kind of went viral, at least on TikTok, because she did this podcast with her doctor, who is this very new agey medicine type of guy. And she was like, yeah, I love to have bone broth for lunch and I'll have coffee for breakfast.
I remember that.
And she was saying that, and her skin is so wrinkly, or her hair doesn't look good, and it's very disordered.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, I thought it was, I guess I didn't know. I thought it looked like it was good.
That's your new type.
Close-ups, I guess.
But it's Gwyneth. Gwyneth looked better if she actually ate properly, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, the older you get, you have to fill out.
Somebody was saying it was just the whitest of all things because it's two white people suing each other about skiing. It takes place in Utah. Everything about it was just, white people problems.
Yeah. And she was only countersuing him for $1.
$1. Isn't that great?
Someone said,
yeah,
thank you, Stay. Someone said Paltrow had been training all her life to play a white woman victim in the courtroom.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they should cast her.
Yeah, and then after she won the case, apparently she approached his last name is Sanderson, I think. And she approached him in the courtroom and was like, I wish you well, and then left. And I was like, oh my God.
That sucked. I really wish that when I saw The Whisper, I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. And don't you want it to be, I hope you burn in hell? I know. That's really nice of her, but it sucks. I wanted it to be worse. And that, there's going to be TikToks of somebody's words into her mouth.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
When does that whisper? It is fantastic. I've never seen that before. It's right out of a movie.
Yeah.
I hope you burn in hell. Because that guy did suck. Everything he did, it's I don't know why he thought that case was a smart move. He was traveling all around the world and he's zip lining, and he's like, so which part of your brain is not working, you say? Or it was what a douchebag.
So I just wanted to say,
apparently bumped into her. No, I'm just saying, apparently he bumped into her. I mean, he was looking for. I don't understand why a doctor would do that. That's why it's so weird. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no. Well, first, before I say this, Ted Chambers, we need Trump to be convicted of a federal crime so that he has no option to hold public office ever again. We need the Georgia election charge to stick, not the Stormy Daniels case. Oh, good point. Thank you,
That's a good
Ted.
point.
Thank you. Yes. People often forget. Yeah, this is why we're doing it. So that's
There's
important.
definitely something to that. If it's going to make sure that he run, then that's a good thing. Of course, I can't say that.
While white may while white may fit the discussion, I believe it's socio-economic. Yes. Okay. Oh, so this is what I wanted to say. Was I called Juskow when I was in Boston because I got a hotel. I got a really nice hotel, the W.
Yeah.
I can say it now because I'm not there. And I got an upgrade, but the guy said it was like I was there at 10 a.m. and the guy said it wasn't going to be ready until 4. And so he said, but we'll wait like he said, or it could be ready in 20 minutes. He said it could be ready in 20 minutes or at 4 p.m., which is a lot of time to just be waiting.
It's a lot of time
for a room. So I said, you know what? I'll wait for 20 minutes. And if it doesn't come about, I'll just come back and say, just give me a regular room. So then I sat down and I just stared. I sat in the area where I could just stare at him the whole time. So he had to deal with that.
That's very funny. I mean, that would, I think, inspire him to get the room ready in 20
I got
minutes.
the room.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I was on the phone with Juskow when that happened. And I wanted to tell you, Juskow, boy, did I get that room right away. he could not handle me just sitting there.
I didn't hear the ending.
Oh yeah, he couldn't handle me just sitting there, just staring at him.
That's so funny.
Sometimes the Black Karen in me works in mysterious ways. I didn't tell you guys this, but when I was in North Carolina, actually Durham, I stayed at a lovely bed and breakfast. Maybe I did mention this, but I don't know if I told you this part. I had to drive 2 hours after the show in Charlotte to Durham, and I got there really late, and the woman was really nice. You know, those bed and breakfasts, they're very like, they're nice people. It's their home, right? And they're like saying, "Here, come in and we'll house you and feed you food." And, you know, so she was like, Are you okay? Are you on your way? Just let us know when you're 30 minutes out, because it was really late. I get there. She's like, I upgraded you. Again, I get an upgrade. Yeah. She goes, I upgraded you to our suite. And she leans in and she goes, I'm going to tell you. She's Black. She goes, girl, I thought you was a white woman. I said, what? She said, girl, I thought you was white. That's why I put you in this suite, because my husband and his frat guys are on the other side of the building. There's like 20 Black men. I was like, it's going to be some little nervous white woman in this room. I just put her in the suite.
That's so funny.
I'm like so glad it worked out for me.
That's so funny.
Isn't that funny? She's like, I had no idea. I said, well, I'm glad it worked out. So, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I sounded like that over the phone. I thought I had a pretty good Black sounding voice. Hoping this my voice, I can say things. What? You know, it's funny to hear Juskow.
You don't have a Black voice.
Just disembodied.
Because you're frozen, and then you hear, no, you don't.
I know. I can see now. I see what you're saying. So I'm trying to get a better lap. Be right back.
What?
He said he's going to be right back.
Oh, okay. He's going to be right back.
Yeah. No, but it was quite something just to hear
How
him.
did he just disappear like... because it's like choppy. It just looks like he just vanishes.
Yeah,
like magic.
That was a good magic.
This would be a good time to do some reviews. So you know, and I noticed who was it? Someone commented on the cowboy. Mike Dick, thank you. Who listens to the podcast? He was depositing, the guy who was catcalling was probably depositing his pay from his job at the Cowboys for whatever that site was we talked about on the podcast. Because for the past 2 weeks, just so you all know, the podcast has been focusing on things that I don't normally focus on in podcasts, which is sex and dating. And so there's been a lot of sex talk and a lot of dating talk. And we had Christina Hutchinson from the Guys We Effed podcast, and she was giving some advice about ordering an escort.
Ooh.
And how she tells the story honestly about how she slept with one. Actually, the owner, the gnome, the owner of the cellar, he bought her one.
Wow.
Because he said it was like some type of bet. I don't know.
Oh,
But it's just like nothing I've never thought about paying for sex. Like,
no,
and I don't think I could. It's not in my DNA
yeah.
to pay for sex. I can't bring but she puts the website on this podcast that's out right now. So if you want to pay for sex and if you want to get that going, go on Friends Like Us and listen to the episode that's out right now. Also, on the previous episode where we talk about dating, there's a discount code for dating advice from Francisca. It's Franny. She likes to be called Dear Franny. So if you listen to that episode, you could get a discount. If you don't know how to date, you don't know how to go on the second date, she's got great advice for you. So check it out. All right, go ahead, Evelyn.
Yeah. So first up, I grabbed some reviews of the podcast. To go, but I think I missed it because we were off. So this was in reference to a post that featured Mimi Simpson speaking about not throwing people away. And our friend TB said this was an amazing episode. And then LSD the Baker said, this was such a good episode. This podcast is just getting better and better. Marina Franklin, you are killing it in these podcast streets, which was lovely. And then on Apple Podcasts, we got a new review from our friend Arlene. And just a reminder also to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps other new viewers find the show. He said 5 stars, always current and relevant. And then finally, a review that was on the Friends Like Us Facebook, but it's more about Marina. Dave Lindo said, Marina was hilarious last night in Boston. We had such a good time. Both you and Sarah made us laugh our lips off so much. You made at least 2 new fans last night. So I thought that was also just a nice one to throw in.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
Great reviews. Yeah, the podcast has been killing it lately. So if you're not listening to it, please go to that link tree that I put in the chat. It's also in the description on the YouTube. It's also scrolling. I mean, it's everywhere.
It is everywhere.
And here's the thing. There are 2 people trying to steal the name of the podcast right now.
I saw that.
Yeah, there's 2 groups. There's a young group calling themselves Friends Like Us, and then there's a woman group calling themselves, and they are like, I don't know, I don't have really a lot of time to go through and protect what is mine. I don't know what my legal, but I know I own the website name. Does that mean that I own it? Juskow, do you know? You look like a lawyer right now.
Yeah. Yes. It does mean that you own it, so they would have to bargain with you to get the name, which I assume you would not give up.
So if I own the website name, I own friendslikeus.com. I legally own that, right?
That's right.
All right. Because you know me, I'll go in on this shit. I've already reported them on Apple Podcasts. So they can beat it. I mean, here's the thing. It's like, just be original. Like, come on.
Right.
On.
Also,
Go ahead, Evelyn.
beyond like moral ethical standpoint of like stealing someone else's name, like I just think like from like an advertising standpoint, like wouldn't you want to like advertise yourself in like an original way or like be more creative? Like that just like doesn't make sense for me.
So Mr. Noise says, no, you own the domain, not the naming for other purposes. But Ted Chambers said, yes, I own it.
Well, they couldn't have a. Well, you couldn't. There be a
Can you put it in the
website
chat,
called friends
Juskow?
like us.com.
You think you could type it in the chat because you're kind of breaking up? So Stace is saying for the website, yes, but I think for the name of the podcast, you might want to register a trademark. I'm not a lawyer, and yes, registering the name with the state of New York as your business. That costs a lot of money, doesn't it? How much that costs? But I may have to register it. You're right. I just, like you said, Evelyn, it's like, just why even do that? Like you said, you can't promote, you're always gonna, and I have so much content.
Right. Well, yeah,
Like,
because like the Friends Like Us podcast has been around for so long. Like, I don't know why, like, as a new podcast, you would want to compete with a podcast that has an established listening base that's been around for 10 years. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
oh, like $100, but not sure. Oh gosh. Okay, so now this is good information. So trademark. I hope they're not watching.
I'm
I
sure they're not.
really doubt they are. If they're that lack of like whatever,
Yeah.
okay, doesn't cost that much. Did it in California for fun years ago. Okay, so here we go. This is gonna be the goal, and we will be back to let you know about it. Oh, we got 10 more minutes of looking at choppy
Dave.
Juskow. People want to try to steal you. Yeah, they always try to steal. I mean, this has been the decade of non-original. Like I saw a movie, like of all the movies that were out, all of them have like Creed 2, Scream 4,
Yeah.
what is it? There's another one that's like
Yeah, there's another sequel. I'm trying to think of what it is.
it's
Oh, John Wick 4.
John Wick 4. There's no one's coming out with anything where it's like this is the original. I don't know if it's because
Right.
the economy is bad and people don't want to risk it.
I think and then like on TV, it's all reboots. It's really very rarely original content. I think like part of it is that like during peak COVID, like tapping into nostalgia was like really big and popular. I mean, it still is and it's carried over, but like and it was fun at first to get like reboots and things. But yeah, like I want original content now. Like I'm tired and I don't think like studios and like production companies have like caught up with I think people being a little tired of it now.
Juskow in the city. SBU.
That is funny.
Yeah, Perry Mason is rebooted. Oh yeah, it's nothing but capitalism. Spend the least to make the most. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I did see John Wick 4 because my cousin was in town, and he wanted to see it. So I went to see it, and I gotta be honest, it was very good, but violent. Oh my God.
Okay.
I did fall asleep because I had just come in from Boston, so I was tired, but it wasn't because of the movie, it's because I was really tired. And I woke up and I looked at my cousin, I said, is he still fighting? Doesn't he need like a nap? Or
I'm sure he does.
How about a scene where there's actually dialogue?
I know. I would watch pretty much anything with Keanu Reeves in it, though.
Oh, you love Keanu Reeves?
I mean, first of all, he's very attractive, but also he's a good actor, I think.
Oh, we used to make fun of his acting.
Really?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's so interesting. Yeah, because I think younger generation, or like people of like Gen Z millennial really like him.
Yeah, no, older generations, we used to make fun of his acting because it was kind of like Ted and
oh yeah. Their whatever adventure.
Bill and Ted.
Yeah, Bill and Ted.
Yeah, John Wick is a 2-hour stunt show. Oh my God. I mean, I was like, I need a break from all this violence. I was like, When are they gonna just have like a sentimental moment?
Right. Yeah.
Nothing. I was like, Keith Robinson, this movie's for you. Um, I also saw Your Honor. I'm watching that on. I did something really sneaky.
What did you
I got
do?
Showtime for free for 7 days or whatever
Yeah.
for a week, and I streamed Your Honor for that whole week, and I finished it, and then I canceled it.
I
feel
do
like,
that all the time.
I feel like a millennial now.
Yeah, that is millennial Gen Z culture is signing up for a free trial of something, just using it completely for those 7 days and then canceling it.
Yes.
It's good.
I've never done this before. I felt like a bad, but I was like I refuse to just add another one to my.
It makes sense. It's like there are just so many streaming platforms to like remember. It makes sense just to like cut it down when you can. Although I actually do have Showtime because there are a few shows on Showtime that I watch.
What, like Yellow Jacket? Is Yellow
Yeah,
Jacket on Showtime?
yeah, Yellow Jacket's still on Showtime. I don't know if it's coming back for another season, but Vanessa Bayer's TV show, I Love That for You, on Showtime, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, they're like but yeah, like I only really use it to watch those two things, which now that I'm thinking about it is like not a great reason to like pay however much a month. But
Oh, look at this. My stepson knows Keanu Reeves and says he's a real incredibly nice person. Oh,
that was nice.
that's awesome. Then Ted Chambers followed by is a horrible actor.
That is funny.
Well, it's like that, and then that actor, he passed.
Yeah, Lance Reddick.
Oh,
So
we've
sad.
lost some really amazing talent in the past since COVID.
Yeah.
It's just like bam, 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 the talent. That's why there's no originality anymore. I mean, I've noticed like even here, I'm gonna admit something. I every now and then I'll do a show and I'll notice a comic after they've watched me will start doing the content that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Or and which is fine. Like in a sense, they're just inspired, right?
Yeah.
But then they'll start using certain words that I've
Yeah.
used, and I'm like, and if they're hosting, I can't do my jokes because you stepped on the punchline. Juskow, why are you showing up twice?
Oh my God, what is happening? Oh my God, what is happening?
I'm trying a better thing. Is it better?
It is better.
Oh, it is better, unfortunately.
We can't hear ourselves though, I think, because of the audio.
But you have to get the other one out.
Okay,
How do you do that?
Now I'm done. I'm gone with it.
How did you do that?
I have a computer right next to it, but it's my work one, so I don't like to use it. I was trying to use my assistant. I figured for the last 5 minutes it'll be okay.
Really?
For the last 5 minutes?
Well, I'm sorry. I normally can't, use this computer for that, but it's so nice and clear. It's a brand new computer. Sorry, you guys. It was driving me crazy because I didn't even realize how choppy it was until I expanded it and I saw that you guys were choppy for mine, but I know it's my computer. And like I said, how mad will I be for the rest of my life that I use this computer when we have Paul Rudd talk to the class?
I can't believe you did that to Paul Rudd.
Was the problem. And you know who we're getting for the next class is the guy that wrote Back to the Future. And I don't want it to be choppy again.
I love what Mr. Noise has to say.
We were hoping somebody would say it,
But you know what? You look tortured just listening to two women for a sec. Like, I don't know if you were frozen in that way, but you were like,
no, I was not at all. I felt bad that I know people like when I'm quiet, but I felt bad that I wasn't contributing in a positive way to the show, not in a positive way, but just to whatever it is that I bring, I guess, in the sense of taking the burden off the two of you.
Well, TB cares that you're still out on the porch in the,
I'm on the porch.
house. Yeah. But I forgot. I had a feeling and it's gone. This is what menopause is like. I had a real thought, emotion. Did you see it? Gone.
I did see it.
Don't even know what the thought. It's gone.
Was it about Lance Reddick or like? talent that we've lost?
Yeah, well, we were on that path of talking about
Yeah.
like comedians, and I've actually had a couple of comedians that are hosting like like I had a comedian one time talk about not getting on a bus,
Mm.
and he realized he had enough money to take the train, and I was like, then he brought me on stage and I was like, that's my joke premise.
Yeah.
Can't do the joke. But I'm also wondering if they understand how jokes work when they do stuff like that. Like I'm like, do you understand that people do actually hear content um and material, and when it sounds similar, it doesn't work the second time around. Like if you've just done it, like that's just kind of like
Yeah. Part of it, like, I mean, I know, like, some small part of it is, like, like, intentional, but also, like, part of me, like, wonders, like, how much of it is, like, someone, like, absorbing just, like, like, your content and then, like, just unconsciously and then forgetting it and then unconsciously doing it. Because yeah, that's happened to me too, and it's like, why why would you do that?
yeah, I think people unconsciously do things all the time. The difference is mine is actually on TV. So
Right.
like when like cuz when it's actually solidified and it's been on TV, it's kind of like that same thing of like you're stealing. You're just
Yeah,
stealing um
for sure.
the owned property in a sense. It's like once you put it on TV, that's it,
Right.
you know?
Do you think the audience, like, recognizes that, like, they were doing your joke?
Oh yeah, you can hear it in the subtle way that they laugh. I
Mm.
could hear that they are like, "Hey, that guy just said," and
Yeah, yeah.
she's doing it, and sometimes I'll test it and I'll still do my joke just to
Yeah.
see, and I'll still get a laugh because the original is always you can always tell the original.
Right. Totally.
I guess that's the reason why I brought this up is because I just am so hungry for original content.
Yeah.
Like my question to all of you out there is and this is like kind of not on this topic, but what streaming platform do you rely on and which one do you stick with? And why is that? Because I was telling Evelyn right before this, like sometimes I'll spend so much time trying to find a show that by the time I get to it, I'm like, I'm tired,
Yeah.
you know?
I-
Go
I've
ahead,
actually
Juskow.
I've actually noticed by accident I have a subscription to Paramount Plus, and yet I found myself using it a lot. Um, at lunchtime, I'll watch Star Trek episodes or Cheers episodes, and I bought it just to get this Love Boat episode. I just bought it for like a month, and then they just kept charging me, and then it was CBS, and then it turned into Paramount, and I don't even know how to stop it. I don't even know how to stop them charging, and I think those streaming services rely on people being very lazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, now I mean, this sucks for me because, and this is so embarrassing in front of Evelyn, but Marina, I mean, I pay $250 for cable and a month, and then I have Netflix and Disney and Paramount on top of that. It's
I'm like, you
pathetic.
gotta get rid of cable.
I know I can't. I'm old, Evelyn. It's like, I mean, when I go home, I go through the cable channels and see what's on because I want to watch in the middle.
No, I mean, I get that. Like, my parents still have cable, and, like, it is, like like, from my childhood, like, I would just kind of, like, flip through.
Yeah, well, I've gotten a little better. I think there's a chance. So the other day, I started watching Singing in the Rain on HBO Max,
Yeah.
and I've just kind of turned it on, and then I've been watching it in the middle. So if I find a new way to kind of watch, I just did that in the morning now. I watch Moonraker. I don't know why, like in pieces.
Yeah.
And so maybe if I watch that way, I don't have to scroll through. I kind of was looking forward to, well, I'll come home and watch the rest of Singing in the Rain. Like maybe if I focus, I change the training that I've been brought up on, I can get rid of this $250 a month just horribleness that they told me if I get rid of all the channels and just keep my, ABC and CBS and the internet, I'll have to pay more.
Or get an antenna.
Because I got grandfathered something.
No, you gotta. I got into a fight with them over this.
You did? I'm kidding. Of course you did.
Did you see me about to get like,
I know you're about to.
Well, Stay says before I go, Stay says I have Prime anyway for my business. I have Prime too. Got a cheap Hulu, me too. That use Apple TV, me too.
Yeah, Hulu and Apple I don't have. Yeah.
Oh, they're so good.
They're so good.
I can't. Well, I have an illegal thing that I use that seems to get me all the stuff I need to watch. But for the other channels, that's how I can watch Only Murders in the Building and stuff like that. But I mean, how many can we get?
It's too much.
It's too much. That's why I'm asking. Like some shows, and then she says we still have Netflix, but it's pricey, and we're doing HBO Max to watch Succession. But here's the thing: I have HBO Max and I have Netflix. I have all the things you just mentioned, except for, and I have Paramount Plus and I have to cancel it. Oh. And you're right. You get lazy and you realize, oh my God, I'm paying for this, but I have to cancel that.
Or you forget. I had a brief subscription to Discovery Plus or something for one show I watched once, and then I just forgot about it for a month. And it was only like $5.
They rely on that, and
whatever. But yeah,
my big plan is after all these years, what I'm planning to do is I'm taking care of some financial business and getting rid of the credit card I have everything on. I'm getting rid of my bank, and I'm moving to a new bank, and then I'll find out what people have been charging me monthly, and I'll decide whether I want to go back to it or not.
Oh, that's smart.
The only way,
because they do lose their minds when you leave. Now, this is what I was going to say. I got into it with Spectrum because I got rid of, because of the same thing you're saying. I wanted to get rid of all my channels, and they made it so difficult. The guy that I was on the phone with was like, and then, I changed my Wi-Fi, to Verizon Fios, which is so much better. As you can see, I'm streaming better. I'm not having as many problems. And they want to keep you so bad. The guy was like, that's not true, Fios. I'm like, it is true. Everyone knows it. I've had your own cable guys come into my apartment and tell me they like Verizon more. He goes, I don't believe you. I go, listen, I don't even want to argue with you. Like, why are we arguing? I go, you know what? Get rid of the whole thing. And then I hung up and I regretted that decision. And then I called back, and then the woman answered, and I told her the whole story. And then I said, and can we trace back to that guy that I had an argument with? And can we report him? Because he was really, she agreed with me. She goes, oh, so he didn't like what you had to say. So he was willing to scrap the whole thing instead of convince you to. I was like, yeah, that's who's working for you. Yeah, but they're still sending me mail.
I think Verizon's better for internet.
Yes. So they're still sending me mail. So I was going to get on the phone again, but then I went on the Spectrum website, and there's a way to get rid of them. You can opt out of their mail.
Oh, okay.
And promotions.
Oh, is that right? I get mail from them all the time.
Yeah, you just go. It's tricky. Sometimes just Googling how to get out of something. Well, you'd be surprised with how helpful that is.
They didn't have Verizon Fios in my building for, the first 15 years I was there. So when they came in, I got so excited because that was one of the things, which was they didn't have the NFL, the Red Zone channel and the NFL channel. And I was so upset. I mean, it was really, really tough to live. So I was so excited when they came. And besides a couple of glitches, I've been very happy, much happier than Time Warner, which is now Spectrum. I do miss the New York one though.
That's the thing. That's why I still have Spectrum for that.
Yeah.
I do have New York. I like New York one. David Tell used to have a great joke about New York one. Because he said it was the most unattractive correspondence on the planet. New York one. For the reporters that look like you. Or it was something. I wish I could go back in a time machine when he did that joke. I don't even think he knows the joke anymore, but it was just like.
No, he knows. He's got a memory bank that's quite unbelievable.
Oh my God. The way he did that. New York one is very useful though. They have a lot of stuff that goes on with legislation, voting. options, what's going on with our community. So in that way, it's important. I don't know if you guys have noticed, speaking of, and then we'll get out, they're changing the hours of garbage and the
They are.
placing it out. Is it weird
Is
to
that right?
you?
It's
Yeah.
like that's not gonna like the thing that like they're doing that for like rats, which like it's not going to like change how many rats there are in New York.
What does
It's
that
just gonna
mean?
make it so they can they're changing the time of when you set out your garbage.
Oh, when you set out your garbage, I see.
They're doing it later. So it's not changing how many rats there are in New York.
That's
It's just
tough
making
for
so
the
we don't see the
yeah,
rats.
but that's tough for the staff of a lot of buildings, when guys,
I know.
there's
Yeah.
less staff later hours if they're talking about 9 or something like that. That's
I think it's
tough, but
8. I think
well,
it's no before 8. But yeah, that is
what
later.
did it used to be? I have no idea.
6, I think.
See, but that unfortunately makes more sense because that's when a lot more staff is there. So I feel now, these poor guys that put out the garbage in your building, besides being, a regular household, that causes a lot of problems too.
Let me
But
tell you about the guy who puts out garbage in my building and Pepito. Let me tell you about Pepito. Okay? Pepito and I get into it all the time. Now, there is a window in my hallway that lets the air flow through. And Pepito always closes that window whenever he like mops and sweeps and whatever. And I love Pepito. Don't get me wrong. I know what he has as a job is a very difficult thing, and I always say hi to Pepito. But he always closes that damn window. And when he closes that window, my neighbors who smoke marijuana, I smoke it too, or whatever they're doing, it comes into my apartment. So it's important that that window is open. So on Thursday, me and Pepito went at it. He didn't know, but every time he closed the window, he would leave. He would go to another floor. And then I'd run out of my apartment, sneak, and I'd open that window back up. And then I'd go back to my desk and I'd hear his feet coming into the hallway, and he'd close the window and then he'd leave and then I'd sneak out. This happened like 5 times that day.
That's so funny.
And I was like, what does he think is going on? It's not like a window that easily falls. Someone wants it open. So it's like me and Pepito are going at it.
Yeah.
And then this morning, even there was another worker who was like trying to get Pepito's. He's like, Pepito. So it's like, I don't know. Anyway. This is my life. I do realize I there was some insanity that was kicking in.
Yeah.
Because why would I spend, there was me planning how much time between him closing it and me reopening it. I was like, maybe if I wait like 20 minutes.
You were engaging in like psychological warfare with Pepito.
Pepito.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, there's also a door on the other end of the hallway that when it closes, it makes a loud sound. So we always stick something in the door so it doesn't slam. And I know it's Pepito who kept closing that door. And then I would stick the thing back in there.
Oh my God.
So now that door, what'd you say?
Nothing.
Let me tell you something. That door is broken now. There's no door to that thing. It makes me so happy. The door's just sitting in the hallway.
That's
so
funny.
I won, Pepito.
You won.
I always say hi to Pepito. Oh, that's the name of the show. Always say hi to Pepito. I love it. All right, guys, we do have to get out. Sorry that things were choppy today, but that's technology. We can't control it. Things happen, but we're all here and we love you as our audience and our fan base. We really do appreciate you. So, Evelyn, tell our listeners where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Evelyn G. Frick. And you can find me on my website, evelynfrick.com.
Yee. Juskow?
Hi. Nothing. I have my Tuesday show at the Cellar at 6:00 on YouTube, and Juskow in the City, of course.
I saw you put up an old photo too, right?
Oh yeah, I guess that guy choking me. Or something
no,
else.
You put up an old picture from the Comedy Cellar from all like the whole gang.
When you mean old, you mean like 3 years ago before COVID? Yeah, I think when we did Grease.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, that's the one I use now for the show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
I like that picture. Yeah.
It's a great picture. Everyone looks good. Judy Gold looks good.
Yeah.
Everyone
Everybody
looks
looks great.
happy.
And that was such a fun show.
Everyone looks healthy. It's a pre-COVID picture for sure.
Yeah, pre-COVID. My singing voice was on fire that night. I got chills. They're multiplying.
Yes. So also you can find me, Marina Franklin, on marinayfranklin.com. And the link tree is right below. So you can listen to Friends Like Us. We have some really great episodes coming up. We have Deandra Lyle, who is in the speaking of reboots of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, which is on Peacock. We didn't even talk about Peacock. I haven't even, I mean, Peacock apparently is doing well because they have Poker Face.
Yeah.
But I just can't do it.
Oh, yeah, Peacock. I don't think I have that one. Yeah.
I don't have Peacock, but
I do.
She is also on Disney. Deandra Lyle. I have Disney. I have the Disney Channel. So she's just a great actress that is returning to the show. So you want to check out that episode coming out this week. And then we also have a nurse that is in a wheelchair, and she is one of the first nurses in New York State that advocates for patients in wheelchairs. So please, listen. And we also have a woman who's advocating for childbirth and pregnancy. It's been a challenge for specifically Black women to, survive childbirth in America. For some reason, it's difficult and we're dying more. So it's a great time to have her on to talk about her story. So listen. I was about to say, don't listen to us. No, listen to Friends Like Us and listen to the original Friends Like Us. Okay. So wash your hands, wear a mask still if you want to. I see some of you out there still wearing a mask, and people are still getting COVID. So do that. And Black Lives Matter. All right. Bye.
Good night, everybody.